Howdy fixers, today we're going after the rear brakes on this Porsche Cayenne, the 4.6 I do believe. And so first thing off, you're just kind of looking at everything, make sure that you have the certain tools for it. There's this pin that goes through, and I have a cotter key that holds the pin in place. So I'm just going to pull this off, it's my first step, and then I'm going to go ahead and drive this pin out with a hammer and a punch, and then we'll be able to see where we're at. This is the pin here, so we're just going to drive it out until I release this hardware here. Once you get the pin out, you go ahead and take a screwdriver and just pry back a little bit to release some of the pressure on the pistons. This is a 16 triple square. Get this loose. It's super tight. The torque's super tight also. It's up in the hundreds. So we're going to get this bottom one loose too. So after those are loose, we're going to go ahead and get this 10 here. This 10 holds the bracket on for the lines and for the sensor and stuff, for the wheel speed sensor. You want to get this loose so that you have access to move your brake caliper back and forth and not have to worry about pinching your line or anything stupid like that. So there's more accessibility for you. So with a little more pressure with a screwdriver or pry bar, you can get your pads all the way out. So you get the out, and with your sensor still connected, just lay it over like that. This connector down here, it twists out of the little socket.
So you want to make sure that you get this kind of pulled out a little bit like I have. And then just go in here and pry this out. And then...
So this takes a 50 torques. Pops out. With the rotor off, you want to check the shoes for grooves or anything like that, or any scoring, and look at your new shoes. So I'm going to clean these off, some brake clean, and then we're going to put stuff back together. So I only got the one plug out. There's another plug in the original rotor that we have to take out, and it's a triple square also. Alright, so these are my backing plate bolts, or my caliper mounting bolts. I'm going to put Loctite on them, and I'm going to torque them to the appropriate torque. And then that should save my bacon from them coming loose, because you don't want these bolts to come loose because it's a big mess, because, you know, it's a comeback or you're going to have problems. So with the Loctite on your bolts, get them started and get them tight, and then after you get them tight, hit them with a torque wrench to your appropriate torque, and then we start putting the pads and stuff back. So at this stage, after everything's tight, you go ahead and take the old pad, slice it in there, and then from the rotor side to the pad side, you push down so it makes your 2 or your 3 pistons flush. Once they're flush, then you should be able to put that pad in there, your new one, like I'm doing here, and then you go ahead and move to the other side. So you take an old pad and put it on the other side and squish those down, and then you should be able to put the new pad in there. It's because if you keep pushing back and forth without something in the way to keep it, you can see here that they go back and forth, and you'll do that on the other side, so you'll never be able to get your pads in, so that's why this is helpful. So with both pads in place, we got our anti-rattle clip here. So you go ahead and put it down in here, and you want to have the round part wherever you're going to have your sensor harness go through. And then so you push the pin in. I cleaned this off to get all the rest of the stuff so it goes in easier. I just didn't show that here. But that goes into place. You got to push down on the clip to get it in, and then you tap it in with a hammer. And then once it gets to the other side, you got to kind of push down and tap at the same time to get it go through the opposing hole. So once you got your pin in there, you just take that old cotter key and slide it in there. Make sure you have your holes facing lengthways, not up and down, because it won't go in. So now we're going to get our warning indicator light stuff in there. So they just push in. I do believe the fatter part goes to the inside. And then so you take the red part and you slide it into the red. And then we're going to go ahead and you pull the black back so the wires fill through that hole. Then you clip it in. And we're pretty much there. So we're going to get our connector in here, and then we're going to get this tight here for your lines. and we're going to get our triple square back on the front. So thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. If you have any questions, give me a like, give me a subscribe, and comment down below.
Fix are good.
Be a fixer. Be your own.